So you probably have at least one conversation that you've been avoiding. I want to tell you this, you could be one conversation away from a healthier team, but you keep avoiding it. You don't have a communication problem, you have a courage problem. That ends today. We'll talk about that on Leading Forward.
All right, Jeremy, today on Leading Forward, talking about some hard conversations that are needed.
Yeah.
I feel like everything we've talked about this season has been about hard conversations that leaders have to have and they need to have. But this is a little bit different. This is really about the team conversation. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today on Leading Forward. Every week, we want to help you to learn, grow, and be better as a leader, continue to learn to lead forward. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing this with others. Do that right now. Share this right now with someone who needs to be a part of this conversation, these crucial conversations, these hard conversations about being a better leader.
We're totally ripping from a bunch of different people today, and I love that we get to do that. Thank you for all the authors and speakers, and there's a book called Crucial Conversations that we're going to pull some things from. So, but first, can I update you on something?
You told me you had some crazy story for me to kick off the day.
Yeah,
Does this have anything to do with the topic?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
bring it.
Tuesday night, we were at the church for some ministry, and we've been having a hog problem. So yeah, you heard me, little
like
javelinas, wild pigs. We're in Texas, guys. I don't know where you're listening from. And we're, on the east side of Texas. We're not rural, but we used to be.
Your campus, your church sits like in the middle of houses.
Yeah, it's weird.
And schools and
they've
major
been doing
intersections.
some construction, and they've disrupted a bunch of the wildlife. So we've been having hogs tearing up our flower beds. When I say hogs, oh man, I should have brought a photo. There was like 9 little babies in our flower bed, just chilling, just rooting around. And we walked outside to see them, and they ran off. And we had one die in our parking lot the other day, and they've been tearing up our
youth ministry.
That's what it feels like. But man, so that's what, we're working with the city and trying to figure out what to do about that. So if you got any solutions, you can comment.
We have some people that are willing to come help.
We've had a bunch of good old boys, and my son is one of them. God bless him. Say, hey, Dad, can I just go sit in the back of the truck with my bow and arrow?
Yeah.
Do some archery.
Bow,
you would
suppressor.
Do it too. Yeah,
I'm game.
Suppressor.
So, yeah, I'll bring my bow. I'm willing to have bow will travel.
Bow will travel. Okay, man. Today we're talking, like you said, crucial conversations. You've had them. I've had them. I don't like them still to this day. And it's leadership.
It is. Yeah, and I think this is one of those things that when we avoid the hard conversations, what we're avoiding is our own accountability. Mm-hmm. And what we're really doing is hurting the entire team.
Yeah.
So when you talk about having hard conversations, who are you directing this at? Who's our audience for today that you're really bringing this topic to?
When you are in a position, whatever the role is, when you're in a position where you have to call something out in order to correct a behavior, in order to help someone see the potential impact of a behavior that they displayed or are continuing to display. So it could be a dad, it could be a mom, it could be a best friend, it could be somebody in your accountability group and that they've invited you in to be their armor bearer. It could be definitely bosses. If you're in a leadership role officially, if you're in a leadership role, you know this. You have not gotten to your level by not being shoulder tapped, whether by your boss or by conviction. We'll call it conviction, to step into a hard conversation and address it. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one of the things that I've thought about is, you sent me this topic and said, hey, let's talk about this today, is a leader's value is measured by the number of hard conversations they're willing to have.
It's good. Yeah.
A leader's value.
Yeah.
If you are willing to have hard conversations, uncomfortable conversations, it increases your value if you can do it well.
Yes.
And the more you avoid them, it actually decreases your value to the team.
That's a great way to look at it. This question, or this episode, this content was really based on a question from a friend, Jennifer, who wrote in and had this question. Said she's a
Thank you, Jennifer.
She's a dynamic leader in the community, and she said, "Hey, this would be super helpful." She gave me several ideas, but this was one. Like, hey, what happens when you have to lean in? It's obviously she knows she's a champ at this, but she thought generally this would be helpful for a lot of people to hear.
Yeah. Okay. So what brings about the hard conversation? What brings about the crucial conversation that is needed? Is it an underperformance? Is it a culture issue? What are we really addressing?
Yes.
It's all those things. Okay.
Yeah, I'm being coy. It could be a repetitive, it could be body language in a meeting. It could be lack of discretion for a team member. Yeah. It could be lateral hallway conversations that are had out of, not in the right context, location, or parameters. It could be any of those things.
Okay, good. Yeah. So these conversations that are needed, that have to happen, they cost companies. They cost companies. They cost nonprofit organizations. They cost churches. They cost I don't even know if you can put a number on what it costs financially.
I read billions.
Billions, yeah. It costs them. So why, if it costs them so much, do they avoid them so much?
Yeah, right. It's not like, I think we think it's because we're nice people and we're trying to be nice when really we're trying to protect ourselves. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. I've been trying to protect myself when I've avoided or put off or procrastinated these conversations, and you just called it. You either pay now in courage or you pay later in consequences.
Okay.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting in the consequences of failure to address something at the right time, previously.
Okay, so tell me this. Tell me about a time that you avoided the hard conversation, and what was the impact?
So here's what I think won't shock people. Maybe it is news to somebody, but the impact, whether you know it or not, is felt not, well, I'll say it this way. In my experience, the team has felt the impact of not addressing it on time in a timely manner in the right way. And I think we've talked about this in some other episodes, or at least we've nodded to it. And then, man, I've lost credibility. I've lost trust in some ways, that I had to work really hard to get back. Yeah. Have you done that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think either we want to say it too hard and we're too aggressive in saying it, or we avoid it altogether. Yes. And both things cost us. And they cost us credibility. They cost our integrity. They cost us our ability to influence moving forward. Right. And so one of the things I teach a lot is that the ability to communicate is your ability to connect, and your ability to connect is your ability to influence, and influence is always leadership.
That's right.
So how you communicate is your ability to connect and influence and lead. So I believe that the ability to communicate is the thing that is the greatest value in our world today.
Yeah.
For Gen Z, we've talked about Gen Z, for boomers.
Right.
And so if you cannot communicate, you are going to miss out in the ability to lead and influence others. So let's just talk through this a little bit. Yeah. If we're going to have the hard conversation, it's a culture issue, it's a behavior issue, it's a performance issue. How do we address it?
What you just hit on was the dynamic and importance of communication. The biggest element of that communication when it comes to confrontational, we can call them confrontational conversations. When I was in law enforcement, that's what we call them. Doesn't mean you're going to get aggressive. It just means you're confronting something. Yeah. It's a confrontational conversation. It's a correction. So the most valuable attribute in these conversations is active listening. We can pray about it. We can prepare. We can go into it with love. And if we're not listening, if we don't give them an opportunity to tell us kind of what's going on, to take some layers off, there's a good chance we're going to miss something very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to go into the conversation. We have to be willing to listen in the conversation.
Yeah.
So what are the other important elements of that?
So there's two frameworks that we can talk about, right? And these are not organic to us, but they're very similar. So if you're listening to this, you may want to take a pencil and just jot these down and then just chat this later. There's a bunch of good stuff out there. First one is really simple. Facts, story, listen. These are the elements. Facts, story, listen. Facts, what happened? Hey, man, and you can use any context, apply this to anything. As a dad, hey, son, here's the thing that I saw. Mom said that she talked to you about doing this, and it didn't happen. Lay out the facts. And then the story. Hey, you may not know this, but here's what this is communicating to your mom. Let me tell you a story. Like she came to me, whatever. And then the final element is listening. So help me understand. Talk about the facts, lay out the impact that they had, and then give them the space to tell you a little bit about what they were thinking.
Yeah. This is that framework is also how you sell. It's how you connect. It's
familiar, right?
Yeah. And so here's the hard facts.
Yeah.
This happened. This didn't happen. Here's what needs to happen.
This didn't happen, right?
Yeah. Here's the impact that it has. Make it personal, and then listen to the response.
Have to.
And I think so often we either want to go facts to listening to not listening, or we want to go, here's the story, no facts without listening, or but we don't take all those things together and use it as a framework that really does allow the conversation to go forward in a healthy way.
Definitely. And it lines up with that second one. The second one, and I actually like this one better. It's easier to remember. FBI. Okay, here we go. Feelings, behavior, impact. Feelings, behavior, impact. Feelings. This could be anything. This is how it felt in the meeting. You were leaned back. You were arms crossed. Right. You were on your computer a lot. How did it feel? It felt odd. It felt awkward. This is the feedback that I got. Behavior, some of these, and you can use them in any specific order. So behavior, hey, this is the behavior. Then this is the impact, jumping into impact. This is what it caused. Hey, I know this wasn't your intention, but here, if you keep doing this, I want to help you become the leader that you know you want to be, that I know that you are. But in other rooms that you go in, if you behave this way, you're not going to be seen as the leader that you are, and I don't want that for you. Talk about the impact.
Okay, so let me just tell you one of the things I've learned through this. Ooh. No one likes these, right? We know that. We know no one likes these hard conversations. They're essential for productivity, for culture, for all these things. We've talked about that. A little nugget is I would suggest people take their phone, and I have I've made it where it's a quick button on my phone, the bottom volume button. I can hit it and it starts a voice memo. Okay. So when you go into these meetings, record yourself.
Okay, that's good.
Part of it's CYA, covering your own butt.
Yeah.
It's not he said, she said, or anything like that. But also going back and listening to yourself.
That's good.
Listening to your own tone. Listening to what was said, what was not said. Dang, I wish I would have said this different.
Yes.
So that you can make yourself better in the future.
Right.
Evaluate that with another team member or with your boss and go, hey, I had this hard conversation. I recorded this, not as an accusation against them, but to help me be better in the conversation in the future.
I like that a lot.
As a leader, I know I have to have more hard conversations and I need to get better at them.
Yeah. I
can't get better at it if I avoid it and am not honest with myself.
That's great.
So we want to start with the facts with them. Yeah. But this is also an opportunity for you to learn, grow, get better in the process, and listen to the facts of here's what the recording said.
Wow. So when you go into, I love that. Okay. So when you go into these conversations, I've heard it. I haven't necessarily put this into practice, just in all honesty, but I like this a lot where you frame it. This is Jefferson. He's a psychiatric champ, man. He's a pro. I don't know, but I started following him. He was an attorney, I think. But he goes in to say, hey, tell them how this is going to go. Let them know that you want to talk to them. Let them know how you want this to end. Hey, I would like to talk to you about this. Hey, when we leave here, here's what I'd like to know that you're on board.
That framework, yeah.
And then one other element is getting their permission. Hey, would that be okay with you? and then they have opened the door for you. And in that, in a scenario, you've said, hey, here's what I want to talk about. Here's what I liked. Here's what I don't. Like, I don't need you leaving here feeling like I'm not on your side. I want you to leave here knowing that I trust you, and this is done because I love you and I see great things in you. Yeah. Are you okay with that? And if they give you permission, because they may say, hey, man, yes, but not now. Like, I've got 6 things happening, and I would really want to give that attention. So can we schedule that? And then
Yeah, well, I think one of the things we need to continue to do is having those hard conversations. We're talking about fact, story, listening, feelings, behavior, impact. Our world is all about your feelings and your truth. And there's no such thing as your truth, Jeremy. I don't know if you know this or not, but there's no such thing as Jeremy Prather's truth. You have a perspective, but you don't have a truth. Mm-hmm. It is your understanding. It's not to say that the 4 gospel writers, they all had a different perspective of the same account, but it wasn't their truth. There was only one truth. And so feelings can't trump truth.
That's right.
Feelings can't trump behavior. They can influence those things, but your feelings can't be the number one thing that we have to consider in this. We want to be good leaders who care for our team. But if the feelings is the only thing that matters, we will always leave truth to the side.
Yeah.
And when we leave truth to the side, we actually lose our integrity to lead in a healthy way.
I love that.
So we have to start with truth. Then this is the behavior I experience. Then this is what I'm observing. I need to hear from you. Did I misinterpret these things?
Good.
But here's the facts. Here's the truth. Yeah. Here's the impact that it's had. The other thing that I think I've noticed is when you have people who avoid hard conversations, there's a lot of meetings after the meeting.
Oh, man, yeah.
And you want to ruin culture. You want to ruin a business. You want to ruin an organization, ability to move from trust to conflict to moving up Lencioni's deal to actually hitting results is you start having a lot of meeting after the meetings.
Yeah. Tell people what you mean by that.
So it's all right, there's 10 people in this meeting.
Yeah. And
then you and your buddy, and you're going to pull in someone else after the meeting to go, hey, here's where this person's an idiot.
Critique it. Yeah.
Here's how this person screwed up. Did you see it so-and-so? Can you believe she said that? Yeah. Can you believe his attitude in that? Who does he think he is? And when you start having those meetings after the meeting, they erode the culture and the trust that you're trying to have.
Yeah.
And the problem is, a lot of times those meetings after the meetings are led by the leader.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
Yeah,
they're led by the leader that should be leading the whole meeting. And instead of correcting the issue, they address it with just their little side posse.
Wow. So in general, I think I hear you saying what I do believe. If you talk about someone more than you're talking to them, you're not leading them.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah. The lowest level leaders talk about someone, not to them.
Yeah.
Lowest level leaders talk about people, not ideas or future. And so if you are, your conversations are surrounded about this person and their issue or our issues as a team, but you're never addressing those, you are the problem.
Dang. Okay, somebody's hearing that right now, and there's a little bit of a knife in the gut. They're nice people. They're good leaders. They've just been dragging their heels on this thing. Let's talk about some things that can happen if you do go into this, because maybe there's conviction right now. You're like, yep, I know I need to have a conversation. And if you go into it with guns blazing, or if you go into it and you leave out one of those elements, you don't listen to them, and it's like, hey, got it? Okay, let's not do that anymore. Okay, next, I gotta jump on a call. Thank you. And you don't give them that space. There's some things that we could feel immediately. They could respond either with silence, and then it's weird. From that point, they shut down. And you have shut down. I've done this, man. I've done this. In the Marshal Service, we would debrief after a thing, and I'd tell, hey, here's how it is. Here's what happened. And then boom, on to the next thing. And then I started to feel guys just with tension. And then unfortunately, nobody corrected me on this. And once I really started becoming a student of leadership, Nick, I look back, I'm like, dang, I missed some big opportunities with those guys,
Yeah. Okay. So here's one of the things. So you're not the leader who's having the meeting after the meeting.
Right?
You're the high level leader, and you have people underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
You lead a team. They all lead a team.
Right.
When you're telling someone on your team, you're number two, hey, you've got to go have these conversations. Mm-hmm. You have worked with them to prepare for those.
Yeah.
Or maybe you haven't, and they don't do it well. Mm-hmm. And that other person that they've had the hard conversation to comes to you.
Yes.
You've got to stop that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And what I've experienced and what I've seen is number one tells number two, you've got to go have this conversation. Didn't prepare them, didn't help them, didn't equip them. And then they go have it. And this other person comes and goes, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And you take their side and you go back to your number two and go, why are you so mean? They were working to execute what you told them to do. They just weren't empowered and equipped to do so.
Yeah.
So that comes back to you as the number one.
It does. It does.
And so don't critique someone you didn't coach to be better.
So if you are that number two and you're getting that instruction, because this is a lot of people. And a lot of people have been that number two. Hey, you got to give this news. Hey, you got to give this feedback. Roger that. Is there anything wrong with before you break out of that conversation, say, hey, can you help me, with a little bit of coaching on how you might see this going and how I might do this? Yeah,
it's so important.
Yeah, I think we're afraid to look incompetent, perhaps, or unable. When in fact, like if people ask me that, I'm like, oh my gosh, you want coaching? Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a second. And I didn't think about it, but yeah, I guess you don't have what you need, and so let's talk about it. Yeah. So silence is one potential, and then violence, not literal violence, but becoming upset, defensive, loud. Body language starts to change. Yeah. And if we don't do it well, we say it right, or we end up saying it sideways. And then we've got damage control. Well, I didn't mean that. And then we're pulling back when that's got its own issues.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being able to say those things, stand behind them.
Yeah.
Have your leader behind those things.
Right.
And not allowing the person whose behavior was wrong at first that you went and corrected, allowing them to have further bad behavior that creates further cracks.
That's right.
So one of the things I wrote is if you're too nice to fire someone, you're too selfish to lead them. I'll say that again. If you are too nice to fire someone, you're too selfish to lead them.
Yeah.
And the ability to fire and have hard conversations means that I'm willing to sacrifice what's easy for me in order for what's best for the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we self-sabotage on this. So maybe you're listening to this or watching and you've said, yeah, I'm just non-confrontational. I'm just a people pleaser. I'm just a peacemaker. Well, that's fine. But if you're throwing these titles out there, you are defining yourself in a way that eliminates the ability for you to actually effectively do this. So you need to stop that. You can be a peacemaker, but peace is obtained through confrontation sometimes. Yeah. It really is, through addressing hard things. So you got to start by saying, hey, I can do this.
Well, yeah. So when this, I don't even know what to do.
I guess I'm
Come
going
in.
to just see.
Come in. All right.
Do we edit that out or we just keep flowing, bro? Grant, you guys missed Grant. Grant knocked on the door trying to sell some stuff. God bless him. God bless him. God bless him.
All right. So where was I?
I don't remember where you were.
So here's the deal. If you avoid these things, conflict has to be between silent and violent. Mm-hmm. We've talked about that. It is the need to say the hard things to protect the culture, to not be selfish. Yeah. And when we avoid those things, we are hurting the entire team. And what you said was, I'm a peacemaker. I don't like having these. You're limiting your leadership, and you're limiting what you believe God can do in you. Mm-hmm. So I'm not that kind of person. I'm not confrontational. You're saying I'm not the kind of person that God wants to use in these situations.
Wow.
And so we see it all throughout Scripture, right? You talked about it earlier with Nathan and David.
Yes.
That the person who wants to be used by God has to move past what's comfortable to step in to what God's calling them to do.
Yeah, so true. If you're a boss too, I think it's worth noting this. You may not be the right one. You may be willing to have that crucial conversation, but you may not be the right one to do it. Meaning, I'll use an example. If I have two people in one department, then I should entrust the lead of that department to have that conversation with a downline.
Yes.
It's not right for me to go directly to, now, do I have the ability to do that? Yes, I do. And there may be times when the relationship, it's just, or they're like, hey, no, actually, yes, I would love for you to do that. Cool. But generally, you need to give the honor of this leading to that person who you've entrusted to lead. Yeah.
So one of the questions we have to ask is, does it need to be said?
Yeah.
Do I need to be the one to say it?
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Is it true? And does it need to be said now?
Yeah, I like that one.
And so working through that process, do I need to say it? Do I need to say it now? When does it need to be said? Who needs to say it? And is it true? Taking ourselves through that filter allows us to get to the point that we don't always confront every issue as us, and who needs to address it, and when does it need to be addressed?
That's another point, man. If you're a feedback Nazi and you're just looking to catch somebody wrong or doing something that you can give feedback on, hey, be careful.
Absolutely. You
can kill morale really fast if you choose to give feedback on everything that you see. Let me clarify. And if you constantly, so this doesn't mean, what we're saying today does not mean that a person has to give feedback on every deficiency that they see. If you do, you will lose your team. You will have to choose timing, as you just said, the priority level, and the effect. What's the overall impact? At our church, we say Jesus, church, individual. What Jesus says matters most. What's best for the church after that, and then what's best for the individual person after that. So if you have a lot of corporations have a similar thing. Hey, what's best for the vision of the company? And then hurting someone's feelings potentially, if it's causing damage somewhere else, you got to take that risk.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So let me end with a story. So I was working with this company, awesome company. They continue to grow. We're working with branch managers and leaders all throughout this organization. They're phenomenal. So met with someone in their business office who's one of their managers, great leader. And she goes, okay, have you met with so-and-so lately? And I went, oh, that came with a little spice to it. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, let's see what she has to say. And she says, I am so frustrated with person X always asking me questions over and over and over and over and over. And she goes, I get so many emails and questions about what I'm doing. Why can't this person just stay in their lane? It's a great point. Mm-hmm. It's not really their lane, but this person is really loyal to the company.